In this video, we're going to explore how to find the definite integral of exponential functions. So the first example will be integral from -2 to 2 x e to the negative x squared dx. Okay, so using the u substitution, we will have u is equal to negative x squared. Du is going to be equal to negative 2x dx. So notice that here you're going to have to change the variables of integration because your limits are with respect to x variable, but now you're introducing the u variable. Okay, so u as a function of x, when x is equal to -2, you will have negative 2x squared is equal to -4, and u as a function of the upper limit for the x, when x is equal to 2, is equal to negative 2 squared, so that's giving you also -4. Okay, so notice that in this case you will probably get a 0 for your integral, right? Because your upper limits for the u are the same, right? But let's see if that it is indeed true. So let's write the integrals. I mean the integral in terms of u. So we'll have x. Well, let's write actually e to the negative x squared first, and then we're going to write negative 2x dx. So notice there was no -2 before in the original integrand, so we have to multiply this integral by -1/2 to compensate for that -2 that wasn't there before. Right, so notice that this is equal to u, this part, okay, and this negative 2x dx is the du. Okay, so now we're going to change the limits of integration. -1/2 will be there. So the x of -2 becomes -4 for the u. And x is equal to 2. The u becomes -4 as well, as we decided, right? It should give you the integral of 0. But let's see if that's true. So we get e to the u du. So now we're going to have -1/2 e to the u integrated from -4 to -4. So that will give you -1/2 e to the -4 minus e to the -4, indeed 0, right? Because 0 times -1/2 is going to be 0. Okay, so now let's take one more integral. Let's see. It's going to be from 0 to 1, simpler numbers. E to the x minus 1 over e to the 2x dx. So notice before you try to use the u substitution, well, if you try u substitution, what are you going to do the u with? You can do u is equal to 2x, but then the du will be 2e to the 2x, right? But on the top, you don't have the 2x in the power, you have the x, and there, what are you going to do with that -1? So the best thing to do is to split this integral into two parts by having e to the x divided by the e to the 2x minus 1 over e to the 2x dx. Okay, and then we can have two integrals that way. We can have, so notice that e to the x divided by 2x can be expressed as taking out the greatest common factor. We can take out the e to the x. Okay, so we will have 1 over e to the x, right? Okay, and I just wrote the first term. I'm gonna write the second integral because we split it, right? From 0 to 1, 1 over e to the 2x dx, right? So I just split it into two integrals. So let's see what I'm going to have. So these guys go away, they turn to 1, so we'll have it's from 0 to 1 e to the negative x dx minus from 0 to 1 e to the negative 2x dx, right? And now we don't need the u substitution for the first part. We just know that it's going to be, since there's a negative sign, we will have the negative e to the negative x from 0 to 1 for the definite integral. And then we're going to have, using the u substitution, u would be negative 2x, du would be negative 2. But that negative wasn't inside the integrand, so you have to have a negative, so you would have a double negative outside the integral, which would give you a positive, right? So plus, and remember there's also going to be 1/2 there because there's that 2 that wasn't there before that will happen to be there when the du is happening, right? So if u is equal to negative 2x, I'm just going to write it down. U is equal to negative 2x. The du is equal to negative 2, right? So we would have to have a negative 1/2 in here. So together with the negative, it would give you positive 1/2, right? So plus 1/2 e to the negative 2x integrated from 0 to 1. So now this simply becomes minus e to the minus 1 minus e to the 0 plus 1/2 e to the negative 2 minus e to the 0. So let's see what that gives us. That gives us, so that gives us 1 minus e to the negative 1 minus 1/2 plus 1/2 e to the negative 2. So that should give us, I'm going to give you the answer here on the top. That should give you, so 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. So we're going to have 1/2 minus e to the negative 1 plus 1/2 e to the negative 2. Okay, so that's your final answer. So I hope that you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in my next video.